Ladies and gentlemen, it's a great day to be alive if you're listening to me and you are well, you are breathing, you are okay, you are healthy, you don't have any pain in your body, and things are okay with you. You've got to be grateful. You've just come off of a great season. In a series, we were talking about gratitude. We were talking about the things that we normally take for granted. But anyway, today we are continuing in the series. In our series, we've been talking about the 6 reasons why Covidex is smack in the middle of purpose deployment. What is Covidex? It's something that was invented in Uganda in the wake of COVID-19. And if you just go to Google, type in the word Covidex, I'm sure you will see some links and some podcasts and some things that have been mentioning the Covidex and the invention of it. But I wanted to come down to it and just talk about purpose deployment in the wake of the invention of Covidex in this series. I'm going to talk about 6 reasons as to why I believe that the invention of the same was smack in the middle of purpose. So you want to stay tuned for this.
Welcome to the Life Signatures podcast with Lawrence Namale. Lawrence is a life coach, author, and keynote speaker who loves to tackle different topics on purpose, productivity, and resilience. His mission in life is to awaken all your boundless possibilities available in you. Life Signatures podcast is dedicated to bring to reality every single person who knows that deep down in their gut, there's got to be more to life than this. And now, here is your host, Lawrence Namale.
If we can do a recap, I'll tell you this, that if you were living in Uganda in the year 2020, 2021, you will understand when I say the word Covidex, you will really understand it. And when I mention the name Professor Patrick Ogwang, you will also understand where I am coming from. This man did not set out to invent Covidex. I mean, he was busy doing whatever it is that he was doing. There are very many things that he has as a pharmacist, a real pharmacist actually. He is heading the Department of Pharmacy at the University of Mbarara University in Western Uganda. He was minding his business, and then COVID-19 hits. Even then, he was still minding his own business. And then what happens when COVID-19 hits? He has his friend who comes over to Uganda and under his auspices. And then as fate will have it, his friend, a white person, contracts COVID and goes into whatever, they put him on oxygen and so on, special care. And when he was in that condition, he reaches out to his friend Patrick Ogwang and says, "Bro, I might die. You've got to do something. Can't you create something for me?" And he said, "There was something I was working on for viruses and so on. Let me just see if it can help you." So he mixes some things and so on and sends it to him. In a few hours, when I talk about a few hours, I'm talking about 24 hours or so. In a day, the man is okay. He's out of oxygen. He's fine. And then the story continues. Other people around Professor Patrick Ogwang again reached out to him. He sent them the same thing. It worked for them. Basically, symptoms that were in red in other situations, and we had seen that when someone gets into that level, you can just forget about them. They're dead. His Covidex concoction was reversing that stuff. So much so that even when Patrick Ogwang himself got COVID, and the president had by this moment been in the know that this man had invented something, what happened? He used his own medicine, he used his own Covidex, and he got better. Within days. See, COVID, we are told, used to take 14 days of whatever it is that it was taking 14 days to gestate. But within days, Covidex was reversing this thing. And I know there's a lot of debate going on, WHO and all these things, people saying, oh, if you put COVID as a cure on internet, fact checkers will come after you. I mean, on social media, fact checkers will come after you. They come after me because in episode number 901 and episode number 908, I shared an interview with that I had with Professor Patrick Ogwang. And YouTube shut it down, and I don't know if there were fact checkers on Facebook, something of that nature. But this thing worked for us. Even today, the thing called Covidex, I dare you. You have flu. I'm talking about serious flu. Yesterday, my wife was sneezing, coughing, and with a handkerchief in bed. I bought her Covidex. See, it's still in the shops, in the pharmacies in Uganda. I bought her Covidex. I tell ya, 4 hours, there was no flu. It's as if she didn't have any flu. I'm not marketing Covidex. I'm just telling you what's happening. Anyway, let's go to our episode today. We're talking about the 6 reasons as to why Covidex is smack in the middle of purpose. Now, number 1. And this doesn't just apply to Covidex, it applies to very many other things. The first reason as to why Covidex is smack in the middle of purpose is that purpose is always about others. It is never about yourself. It is never about lining your pockets. It is never about making some money and making a name and being the doyen or the toast of people. It never is that. That's never the reason as to why we do purpose. The reason as to why you and I are born is to serve humanity with our uniqueness, our unique gifts, our unique abilities. That's why we are here. That's why we've been preserved. That's why we've been given this strength and these talents that we have, these gifts. Professor Covidex, or Professor Patrick Ogwang, always gravitated towards pharmacy, and even in pharmacy he's always been the guy who wants to create things, not study pharmacy. The pharmacy, he told me the pharmacy that people normally study in school is to cram or to know what the medicines that are already available, what they do. To him it's not, it's baloney. It's like we need to study how to make medicine itself. We need to be always researching and coming up with new inventions. Why? Because we've got to serve humanity. So purpose is always about others, and that's why Covidex is not about him. Covidex is about solving the problems that we were facing at that moment in time. Your problem, your purpose in life is always going to be outward looking. Never inside. If you find that you're immersed into something, I don't care how much it's giving you in terms of profit. I don't care how much it's bringing to you. If the agenda of the day is yourself, ain't purpose. Forget it. It's not purpose. I'm not saying it's sinful. I'm not saying it's wrong. I'm just saying it's not purposeful. It's not about purpose. If the agenda of the day is about you, forget it. Purpose is always outward looking. It is not about you and what you can amass for yourself in a few decades that we have to live. It is about the difference. It's about the transformation, about impact. It's about the contribution that you and I can make. When penicillin was invented, that was purpose invention. When the railroads were invented, that was purpose invention. The same applies to things like tarmac, flight, internet, and so on. This internet, by the way, it was never about a person. We stumbled upon it. Never meant to be invented, but it's serving us. Purpose is what transforms the world, or what stops the problems that are bedeviling mankind. It is always about other people. Purpose is what transforms us. It's what makes a change. It's what brings an impact. When you have found that you are passionate about changing and transforming something that benefits other people, you are smack in the middle of purpose. And even as we're learning these things, we're also learning how to discover our purpose, by the way. If you find that you are in a career, you're steep in a career where it's all about you at the end of the month, it's all about you at the end of the week, it's all about you, about your promotions and so on. It's not about the transformation. It's not about the change. It's not about the impact. It's not about the contribution. It's about your difference. That ain't your purpose, brother. That ain't your purpose, my sister. There are several reports from people that I know that have taken Covidex treatment and they have been cured. Personally, I know them. Personally, I know those people. They have been cured. When you look at the doctor behind this invention, it's not even a doctor, it's a pharmacist. When you look at this pharmacist, I have met him, been in his house several times. The humility and the total commitment to the cause, the betterment of others, is inspiring. It's all inspiring. Covidex is not the only thing that he's invented. There are some things that he's done that are going to that are helping actually people with flu, helping people with malaria. As in, if this guy's malaria solution was taken seriously, it will eradicate malaria from the country. And he is using the natural resources that God has given us that are readily available. That's the first reason as to why I believe Covidex is smack in the middle of purpose. And it might not just be Covidex. It might be laptops. It might be TVs. It might be chairs. Any invention that is for the benefit of others, it is smack in the middle of purpose. So purpose is always about others. Tomorrow we'll look at something else. Until then, bye-bye.
Thank you for listening to Life Signatures Radio. If you enjoyed today's show, subscribe to Life Signatures Radio on iTunes, Stitcher, or visit our website at lifesignatures.libsyn.com. Life Signatures Radio, fresh, clean, and inspiring.